Ladies and gentlemen, this is UX and this is the Superpower Everybody Forgot Victoria 2 by the channel iSorrowproductions. And apparently YouTube thinks this is Europa Universalis. They just show you how similar these games are if YouTube's bots thinks this is a different game from the same developer. But yeah. I love Victoria 2, basically, especially from iSorrowproduction. I like before the World War start, I like how basically things can change. And apparently somebody told me that, with the Europa Universalis, then there is a Crusader Kings, Victoria 2, and then Hearts of Iron, basically all these games can be linked together. So from the start of the game, from the start of the time, whatever in 12th century or something, where the game starts, is it Europa Universalis? That's the first one, I guess. Where the time period starts, whatever alternate history you create, you can carry that over to the next game because it's from the same developer, which is interesting. Somebody should make a video like that, right? ISP or somebody who just goes with the run with all the games from the start to the end, creates alternate history, and just to see the butterfly effect, like how it will end up in Hearts of Iron 4. But yeah, remember, if you like my reaction, don't forget to subscribe. Check out the reaction date. There's a link in the description. In the description, there's a playlist too for Paradox games reactions like this. And yeah, let's watch it.
If you don't like the video in the first 15 seconds of the video, iSorrowproductions legally is allowed to just pick you up and throw you in the bag. That's right, I got a bag for people who don't leave engagement on my videos. I'm that crazy. But don't worry, I'll let you out of the bag if you buy my merch. Link in the description. Wink. But yeah, enough dilly-dallying around. I've left this for way too long. I know in Victoria 2 I was saying I was going to do all great powers and every person that could become a great power, and I was really savouring it till probably the end of the Victoria 2 saga on this channel. I'm not saying this is the end just yet, but we're getting pretty damn close, so that means it's time for the clogs. Now, the Netherlands is actually a pretty formidable power, believe it or not. You can have a lot of money being made because you own all of Indonesia, and for second off, you can get all of Belgium back as you have cores on it, which is just really fun. The only downside is you don't really have any good population, so you can never really get a big army. But we're not going to have to worry about that with Belgium, because even though Belgium's protected by Britain, they're not a very great ally for them, because if you ally Britain straight away, which you can't do, they'll just join the war against them. Remind me never to just ally Britain ever in this game. Then once you take out Belgium, look at that. You're a big, beautiful clog. With that clog, it's time to become a great power and start stomping all over the Indonesians. I think that's the thing when people...
Yes, that is interesting, isn't it? That basic Dutch were really powerful in colonial times, right? Dutch East India Trading Company, this and that. This was one of the first powers of the world. Obviously, at the latest is like by Spanish, by British, right? Anglo-Dutch War or whatever. Basically, they start to get fall a bit, and eventually, basically, they were like, I don't know if it was steep fall or gradual fall, but basically they weren't a great power anymore when the World War I came. But yeah, this is a great concept. You could basically take Dutch and start to make them even bigger power and see what would happen in the end of Victoria 2 when the World War I is apparently starts when Dutch is powerful.
Just like being stood on by clogs. You can call it clogging. Dutch people are weird, man. As the Netherlands, we're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. The hard place being France and the rock being Germany. So them fighting each other as early as possible is what I kind of want to see. Please just don't kill me. It's always pretty interesting to enable crises from the start because you see stuff like Bulgaria just appearing in 1848. So a lot of this game is me just going to be annexing small people over here in Asia. It's not really going to be that interesting. In fact, I'm falling asleep right now. We are going to still make a quick pit stop over to China, even though we don't need the money. I just sort of saw this and was like, let's just stabilize the region even more. Not a lot's changed about Bali. It's just a lot of foreigners coming around and just trashing the place, isn't it? Yeah, I think it's definitely safe to say that China's just not looking too damn good, is it? But that's also probably because I just took Manchuria. Sorry about that, China. Nah, I'm pretty sure Britain gets a casus belli if I say no to this, but I'm still gonna do it, and hopefully they just don't declare war on me, because I don't need your money, I don't need the province, so I'm just gonna pretend like I didn't get that email, That's right, email in the Gold Coast in 1860. So, there's currently a crisis going on, which I don't 100% agree with, because they're trying to release Belgium, but everyone joined my side, and I'm pretty sure Austria's also going to join my side, so I'm just going to let it go to a war, because How dare you try and get involved in my politics, Russia? Yeah, I think that Russian interference into other countries' affairs just sort of backfired just a little bit right then, didn't it? Because I don't think you're going to win this, all of this, because Russia wanted the Belgian people to be free. I'm not even fighting in this war. I'm just letting Germany and Austria do it all. I just got an event called the Year of Abundance. That's right. It's a year of abundance of me just profiteering off of this war. Oh, I thought this was just going to go to a white peace, but no, the AI actually adds stuff to this war. now we have this. I was wondering why I wasn't getting any steel to build anything, and that's because the demand for steel is double that of the supply of steel right about now. So, shoot me. Guangdong fears our might! Oh damn, we actually found the source of the Nile, so we need to pick what is basically the worst name possible, and these actually aren't that bad. I'm just gonna go with Maurice. Lake Maurice. The famous Sicilian restoration of order to the Sicilian provinces against Sicily. I think I'll pass. Perfect. That's exactly what I needed when 90% of my population is just colonies. God damn it. So I'm only really focusing on Asia at the moment, and I managed to get Vietnam, which is pretty cool. I'm
Dutch Vietnam. Look at that, all the Dutch Asia.
hoping that we don't have any problems with Vietnam like that was happening in real life, because France actually took the south bit, which, oh wait, I took the north bit. God damn it, I didn't think this through.
Dutch were more successful than Americans.
Too, like the Ottomans taking Zanzibar. When the hell did this happen? Oh, they're just giving me more land over in Vietnam, and now I feel incredibly uncomfortable. Please don't Vietnam me. I know, just normal things like 414,000 militant socialists sieging down Amsterdam. It's a lot of socialists. Well, we're socialists now. Not that that means anything. We just have a socialist party in control, and then eventually they'll probably get voted out by the Liberal Party, which we have plenty of. So, just in a bit of a war now against Britain and Russia over New Guinea. I've actually built up a bit of a formidable battleship navy, though, so I'm hoping that maybe I could dunk on the British Navy just a little bit. I just completely dunked on the British Navy. Well, that's
something I don't understand of this game is what are we supposed to be, right? Because the political parties constantly change. So who are we? Are we the army's general or something? What is our place? I mean, we are the controlling country, right? We are controlling what happens. So what are we? Are we Congress? Are we political party? Are we military general? If you're military general, aren't we supposed to answer to, like, you know, something like Congress something? Because not all countries are military powered, right? Like military ruled, right? So if the politics change, doesn't that supposed to change how we are supposed to behave too? I don't know how that works.
The war, I suppose, because I can't land. Yeah, that was the entire war. I had that naval battle, and that was it. That was enough for New Guinea, apparently. There's actually so little for me to do. I've slowly actually managed to get all of these, like, Indonesian provinces to start becoming actual states, which means there's Dutch people who now live over here. You know what? Sure. You know what? Guangdong did fear my might, so I'm just gonna go to war with them, because I know it's just for 2.5 infamy I can take a province. I'm sorry. What the hell is this? I guess Guangdong actually had a reason to fear my might, because they are fighting me with both sticks and stones at the moment, which doesn't do too great against machine guns, funnily enough. You see, I can't actually keep up with the other great powers, but I can just keep beating up China now, I've realised, so maybe that'll put me back on equal footing. Now, these provinces aren't that great, but they are 2.5 infamy each, so it's just free real estate, basically, and it already just looks disgusting. You know, we're living in the ideal timeline where Austria-Hungary is invading Spain. What are you doing over there? Really a dream team there. Austria-Hungary, Bosnia and Tuscany invading Spain, who are allied with Britain. Here's one for all you role players out there. South Africa broke free from Britain and immediately allied with me. That's right. Dutch boys unite! Yeah, well, like, it's a really crap Power Rangers. Literally, it's come to the point I've got nothing else to do. I'm going to annex Tibet. I know. Things have really gone to hell. And we unlocked fascism.
Alright, usually when your country is diverting its resources to something like, you know, Southeast Asia or something like, you know, taking like Tibet, Vietnam or something. And at the same time, countries like South Africa is also joining you. Like, what are you supposed to do at that point? Like, how do you have resources to help South Africa fight off British, basically in South Africa? Because British is also at the north of South Africa at that point, as we saw. And at the same time, also try to take Tibet and all the South Asian countries. You can't, divert your resources like that even today. right? So how can you have major thing happening in multiple areas of the world at the same time? How you can divert your resources like that?
I don't know if I want to actually unlock that, considering I'm currently trying to turn communist, but they're just not wanting to turn. Look at that, 1.1 infamy for a slice of China. That's a deal if I've ever seen one. I've actually come to the point where I'm just reading the newspaper now. Titanic sank. It's the highlight of today, apparently. Although there was a hurricane in Texas, and Mount Vesuvius has actually erupted in Naples, so we're truly in the end days now.
8,000 people, damn.
I just managed to take a bit of China that isn't even connected to my
Jeez,
land.
yeah.
Great. You know, I think it's safe to say, looking at this pie chart right now, the politics of my country are a little bit messed up, considering I have 4 liberal parties, all with like 10% support each, 2 social democrat parties, and a communist party. No one votes Conservative, though. Brett just lost 293 prestige from Malta. Holy moly. Oh, hold up. Oh, and they've released India as a dominion. That's just too much orange over here. One of us is going to have to go home and change.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, so first of all, something I thought of, in this, there are regions like this, right? We're supposed to take them over, which is inside of what is this, China or something, right? There were no planes in the Victorian times, right? So how does this make sense? How are you going to travel there? Are you going to go through this region? Aren't they going to be hostile to you now? Right? So in this game, I see a lot of time where, some country takes over a small piece that is surrounded by the enemy lines. Like, how are you going to, how are you going to go in and out? During the Berlin Wall times, the planes were there, so everything was fine. But how are you supposed to go through? Like, you can't just go with your horses and shit during your trains or whatever in this time, right? In this area. How are you supposed to do that?
One of us is going to have to go home and change. Finally got my communists to rise up. All 3,000 of... Oh my god, really? The good news is the Heavenly Kingdom took Qinghai, whoever it was that was next to this, so now this bit of orange just kind of stands out even more. So visit Pinglang, guys. Here it's great. There you go. My socialists rose up at the same time, but because the communists were sieging the province first, I think they got the siege. So hopefully we flip communist, not socialist again. Ah, perfect. It worked. Even though I think I still have the socialists immediately rising up afterwards, even though it makes no sense. It doesn't make sense for you to want to go backwards. And of course, my militant socialists rose up in the one province I can't get to. Thankfully, I just went to war with China to get to that province. I took some land in the same time and ruined their name placement. Just quick note, it's 1916. Italy still looks like this. There's been no great wars. So I'm just going to go ahead and start one now because it's 1918 and the world is way too peaceful. There you go. We got ourselves a great war. Me and Germany versus Britain and Russia and also Portugal. And we're already winning 34%. How we won? Oh yeah, might have something to do with that, honestly. Switching up from the usual strat, instead we're going to invade Scotland this time, and I'm actually defending on this mountain against Britain. As you can see, I'm doing a lot of damage, but I get the feeling this is also going to be one of those really long battles. So it's 1919 now, let's see when it actually ends. Right, clearly Albania doesn't have the newspaper, because they don't exactly know that we're kind of busy right now. And my allies getting invaded by France. Nice one, Germany. Just casual normal things like Liberia somehow managing to get over here to siege me out. Look at the sea. How? Oh, looks like that battle's finally ending. When was it start? Like 1919? It's 1926 now, so was that like 7 years? 7 years of a battle. So there you go. In that battle that lasted 6 to 7 years, I killed 1.6 million British people. I think it's 1.6 million because it's gone off the screen. And I got 303 war score for that. Right, so we're going to leave it off today anyway. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you leave a like at the subscribe button down below. This is a pretty fun game regardless. The Dutch aren't my favourite people to play as because it's just it's a bit finicky. You can't really do much to the end game. But we did manage to beat Britain in that very, very long battle. But I don't know how much more Victoria 2 videos we're going to do. There's not many more countries I can play as. I might do a few fun ones, a few releasable nations. I haven't really decided yet. But if you've got any suggestions or mods, leave them down below.
Yeah, it would be really interesting to see him playing as a really weak country and somehow take over the world. Is that even possible in this game? I don't think that's possible, right? I mean, by the time you gain any real power, if you're that weak, the game would be at the end stage, right? Like 1920 or something, 1930 by that point. Like you can't do much about it. The time is restricted. But this was an interesting topic all around. Dutch used to be a superpower in Victorian times. In the end of Victorian times, they were like, not so, right? Because of the British, Spanish, powers like that. But it's really interesting to see like what would happen if Dutch were, again become a superpower, taking lots of countries, under them, and then World War I starts. But yeah. Alright, well, that was the Superpower Everybody Forgot Victoria 2 by the channel iSorrowproductions. If you like my reaction, don't forget to like, subscribe. If you want to react to a specific video, comment down, and I guess I'll see you next time.